dear Toastmasters and guests. How's the energy today? It's a Friday, I know.
Awesome.
Great. Okay.
How's your
It's Christmas, so I'm excited. Okay. Today's theme is the moment you decide to change, everything changes. And the word of the day is metamorphosis, which means to completely transform. So, a few announcements I would like to make. Just before we start this session, please keep your phones in silent or switch it off completely. Give me a thumbs up on Chaitra. Great. Okay. Once more, before exiting or entering this group, just make sure that there is a sweet sound of applause. And for the final group, please keep sex, religion, and politics out of the discussion, evaluation, speech, whatever. We would like to have a very non-biased and uninterrupted session. Great. Okay, so there was one time where I heard a term called the sheep herd. We were all part of the herd once, but of course we decided to find our own ways. So, what is this sheep herd? The herd is someone who finds the easiest spot to do, easiest thing to do, easiest thing to achieve. Everybody is trying to find the easiest thing to achieve, easiest way to earn money, easiest food to cook, easiest way to travel. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I'm just saying that they are avoiding pain. Of course, the pain that is required to transform someone. So, obviously, we are not part of the herd, that's what I believe, because we decide to challenge this pain and fear by coming to this place and speaking onto a stage in front of an audience. Okay, so, of course, this pain comes with a magical metamorphosis, if you allow me. We will be more outgoing, positive, energetic, and socially confident. I used to know a lady who used to be very shy and somewhat scared to speak behind a podium. But during her college days, she changed her method of thinking. She expanded her horizons and changed the view of her world by just thinking a bit more analytically. It's a major transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for me to introduce our beloved president, Chaitra Chandapillai.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhinava. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
Welcome to meeting number 1507. I call to order meeting number 1507. Now I see a few new faces over here. Can I ask the guests to please stand up? Thank you. Members, can we please welcome them with a thunderous round of applause? We hope you enjoyed today's meeting. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to anyone who's wearing this badge. Thank you. You may take your seats. Before we proceed further, I would like to ask our Secretary, Toastmaster Shastry, to give us the minutes of meeting number 1506.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good evening.
The theme of the last week meeting was every sunrise is a chance to try again. That doesn't mean to procrastinate or till sunrise do your work, but it's just a metaphor. The word of the day was adamant, means being adamant to come to Toastmasters Club every Friday. The number of members present were 26 and the number of guests present were 18. The awardees are as following. The best speaker went to our shining Toastmaster Shiv Kumar. The best evaluator went to our data scientist, Toastmaster Vivek Vijay. The best auxiliary role taker went to Toastmaster Ravi Verma, who keeps sending birthday wishes every now and then. And the best role taker went to DTM Dr. Rajdeep Manwani. And the best tabletop speaker went to the speaker who didn't speak about his wife for the first time. DTM Vijay, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shreya. Members, are there any amendments to the minutes of meeting number 1506?
No.
Okay, I pass the minutes of meeting number 1506. Now, as we move towards the new year, there is one thing that is right at the front of our minds, and that is the word change. Change is one of those things that sound easy when you think about it, but when you actually take action, you find that it is so difficult. One of the most inspirational authors that I've read, David Goggins, had a really tough childhood. He had an abusive childhood and he was bullied in school. And as part of it, he floundered in the first part of his life. He weighed 135 kgs and he knew that he had to really lose weight for his one goal, to join the US Navy SEALs. Now that wasn't easy. He had multiple attempts, right? Initially he took on small jobs and tried applying, didn't get through. And then once he was determined to lose weight. So he lost a lot of weight, around 45 kgs, and he finally got through the US Navy SEALs training program. But that didn't mean things were easy. Now this is an elite program with a lot of competition. And as he went through the training phase, he found that he couldn't make it. And he had to drop out. But did that stop him? No, it didn't. He tried again. And this time, he stuck with it. He was very determined. He had that goal in front of him. And he made sure that he was very disciplined as he trained. And little by little, his fitness levels improved. And he finally reached his goal of becoming a Navy SEAL. He went on very important missions, very elite missions. And if you listen to him speak, he has a lot of inspiring stories to tell you. And after his time there, he went on, of course, to become an author and a motivational speaker. Now, what we learn from this story, that change is not very easy, right? You will probably fail the first few times you try to do something. But the important thing is to stick with it, to be determined, and the process eventually transforms you and helps you reach your goal, whatever it may be. Now the next person to come on stage is someone who found Toastmasters to be a transformational experience. His favorite time has been when he was part of the committee, and he has been the president of our club thrice. And through his time here, not only did he grow as a speaker and as a leader, but he made lifelong friends. A chartered accountant by profession, he has worked in multinationals and he spent a chunk of time in China. And because of that, in our club, he is known as our go-to person for anything related to China. Of course, he became the CFO of the subsidiary company over there, and he came back to India. And right now, he has spent the last year having some very exciting journeys. He's been traveling a lot. And every time he's one of those people I go to for advice. Because he has a very insightful way of looking at things. And some really great advice. So friends, put your hands together to welcome onto the stage one of the most brilliant storytellers I've heard, who actually disguises his advice as stories, Toastmaster Nithin B.
Good evening, dear Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
Today, we will be celebrating the birthday of Sonal, Toastmaster, and also Rashi. She's already celebrated. She's already celebrated without her. Very good. Right. Now, how many of you have been to Goa or plan to go to Goa on a holiday? Very nice, very nice. Seniors must be wondering why I'm talking about Goa and not Chaitra. Right? Because it is on this very day, 19th December 1961, Goa got the independence from Portugal. We all know British ruled our country for 200 years. But can you guess how many years Portugal ruled Goa? 451 years. So when India got independence, it was not easy for us to take control of Goa because Portugal was a NATO member. It had a support of all the NATO countries. But an incident on November 17, 1964 changed all that. Before that, we had Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia and so many independent strugglers were trying to free Goa from Portugal. So many groups had been formed, Goa, Amantak Dad, Gumantak Dad. But one particular day, Portuguese garrison fired on an Indian passenger ship which was going from Kochi to Mumbai. One Indian citizen died and the chief engineer was injured. That day, Indian government decided to change everything. On 17th of December 1964, Indian Navy, Air Force and the Army surrounded Goa. My dear friends, it took only 2 days for the governor of Goa, Portuguese governor of Goa, to sign the surrender agreement. That is the power to decide a change at the government, national level. When it comes to individual level, the moment you commit yourself for a change, be it removing a habit which you don't want to continue or achieving any other goal, that is the time you bridging the gap between what you want to achieve and what you want to be there, the goal. Now, the power of change is so phenomenal and so important to all of us. It was in the year 1924, for the benefit of guests, Toastmasters movement was started by Dr. Rao Mendy. Because he wanted to change himself and others by removing the power for the fear of public speaking. Dear friends, and it started in a small place in Santa Ana, California. Today, 8 million people around the globe, including me, have benefited from this movement. As of now, we have about 40,000 clubs operating all over the globe. And in India alone, can you guess how many clubs are operating, members? In India? Huh?
1,000.
In India?
1,000.
1,000 clubs. 1,000, I should have excluded Pawas. Next question onwards. So 1,000 clubs are operating in India, and in Bangalore city alone, we have 200 clubs. Okay? And all the Toastmasters Club operate on the same fashion. We have 3 sessions. One is a prepared speech session when speakers who are prepared on a particular project based on the project guideline come over on the stage and give their speeches. The second one is a table topics session where random topics are thrown to members and also willing guests. If you're willing, you can volunteer. And the third is evaluation session. Now, without a feedback, none of us can improve. There's no improvement, there's no learning. Somebody has to tell us, this is where you can improve, this is where you're, this is your weakness. Now, that is a very important evaluation session, which is called general evaluation session, which will be conducted by our veteran Toastmaster Ganesh Pai. Please, Ganesh Pai, please stand up and the members and guests. Now, Ganesh, Toastmaster Ganesh, is assisted by 3 important people. We call them as tag team. Timer, accounter, and a grammarian. And today's timer is working as a deputy director in Ministry of Power. And he had joined the Toastmasters Club 7 years ago. But due to certain constraints, he finished only 1 term without giving the icebreaker. He's back in Bangalore Toastmasters Club and is determined now to give his icebreaker anytime. But today, he will tell us what he is going to do as a timer, Toastmaster Bharath Rao.
In the 15th century, many Europeans came to as colonizers for making a marketing here, and out of which French and English people established supremacy, and later Carnatic wars decided English were the complete colonizers of this nation. So, but what happened is the decision of the Carnatic wars was the last Vantivas war. In that, British had output great leader and French also had a great leader, but the timing of the resources did not came to the French people and they lost the war and they lost India also. Thank you for today's meeting. My role is as a timer. Time and tide, wait for none. It is my duty to time and record the duration of entire meeting and its individual parts. For today's meeting, the speeches are 5 to 7 minutes in duration. At 5th minute, I will hold up the green card, and 6th minute, I hold up the yellow card, and 7th minute, red card. Table topic speeches are from 1 to 2 minutes. At 1st minute, I will hold up the green card, and 1.5 minute, yellow card, and after 2nd minute, I hold up the green card, so red card. At the end of the meeting, I will give up my report to General Evaluator and submit to the club secretary in order to become part of the permanent sector. Thank you.
For a moment, I was wondering who's the Toastmaster. But it's a good effort. And the next will be our accountant, who has been Toastmaster and also a software professional working with Blue Yonder. Tirumalesh, can you tell us what you're going to do?
myself using a lot of fonts. I have to write my name as well. I will do that. Today I will be, CCTV camera for your mouth, always observing, not even blinking. So if you deliver your prepared speeches or whatever table topic speeches without any smoothly, basically, I will be relaxed. Otherwise, my pen will break up. So at the end of the session, I will be giving you I will be giving you the report. People who used to most of the filler words and filler words. So all the best to everyone, including me.
And today's grammarian role is being done by another veteran Toastmaster who has been in the club for more than 2 decades, I guess. A retired banker who always believes that life is always to learn something. There is no end to learn. I request Toastmaster Richard to tell us what you're going to do as a grammarian.
Toastmasters, the Toastmasters and distinguished guests and in particular, we all like idli, fluffy, snowy white. But you can't have it by itself. You require an ingredient called chutney. The good chutney, as much good the chutney is, such palatable is the idli. English language also. It's conveying to the listener. It depends upon how well the language is framed. Today, my duty will be to note down the good usage, also not so good usage, and submit my report to the general evaluator in our last week. Over to you.
Thank you, Richard. The first of the speech, we will have 2 speeches today. The first speech is talking about introducing himself or herself to the club. This is the first step in Toastmasters. And this particular speech is being evaluated by a Toastmaster who's a chartered accountant, working with Grand Thornton, Bharath. I think the Bharath is a new addition to Grand Thornton, probably Indian subsidiary or something. And he has been in the club since June 2024. I request Toastmaster Amaan to read the guidelines for the speech.
Good evening, everyone. The purpose for this speech is for the member to introduce themselves to the club and learn the basic structure of preparing a public speech. I wish you all the best. Speaker number 1, and over to you, DM.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amaan. Ladies and gentlemen, now is the time for this Toastmaster to give his first ever speech. I will not be talking much because he is going to come over here and talk about himself. But I would like to acknowledge his mentor, Toastmaster Robinson D'Souza, I think who has left today because of some personal commitment. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together to welcome Toastmaster Chandrashekhar Nayak.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Good evening. It was the year 1993 in the beautiful and humid town of Margao in the state of, any guesses? Margao is in which state? Wow. Yes. I was studying my 10th standard then. I was a new boy to the school as I had done my 7th, 8th and 9th in Karwar, a coastal town in Karnataka. Our sports sir, Mr. Chogle, a tall, lean and fit personality, he came in and asked us a few questions. He said, which football team won the World Cup in 1934? I raised my hand and said, Italy. Which football team won it in 1958, he asked. I again raised my hand and said, Brazil. Which cricket team won the World Cup in 1979? Again knew the answer and said West Indies. These are few of the questions which I answered with nonchalant ease that day. The class was done and I was new to the class. After the class, one of my classmates, Ganesh, he came and asked me in company, "Arey Chandra, आम्ही सगळे physics, chemistry, biology चे notes बरेता. तू sports चे बरेता रे?" So what he meant was, we write notes of physics, chemistry, and biology. So do you write notes of sports? So in my school and college life, I was extremely passionate about sports. I played cricket, badminton, football, tennis, and table tennis. I was good at academics as well, and hence I went on to become a chartered accountant. I was born in Uppinangadi, a village near Bangalore. My father, Venugopal Nayak, worked in Canara Bank. And as this was a transferable job, I did my schooling in various parts of the country. Bangalore, Mangalore, Hyderabad, Karwar, and then Goa. My mother, Vimla Nayak, a housewife. I have two sisters, Geeta and Punima. I got married in the year 2010. My wife's name is Shetty, and I have two angels, Kriti and Tanvi. After qualifying, I joined KPMG and worked for 6 years in the statutory audit division. After that, I worked in a gaming company called Site, where I worked for 14 years, overviewing the financial reporting. From 1st October, I have been working with our general evaluator of today, Mr. Ganesh at Wemo Site, where we offer fractional CFO and accounting services to startups. In 2014, one evening, a traffic constable called me, and in a very intimidating tone, he told me, "Yendri, nammele complaint ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಬನ್ನಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡೋಣ." It was a traffic policeman at the Udupi Garden Junction in BTM layout. A few weeks back, I had written a suggestion to the Bangalore Traffic Police, saying that although there is a traffic booth there and a traffic policeman sitting inside always, violations such as riding on the footpath, jumping signals, or driving on the wrong side are completely ignored. And hence, this constable wanted me to come there and speak to him. And the way he spoke, I clearly knew what was his intention. I had this habit of listening to the various departments. Whenever I watch sports, I do know very passionately. If I watch, maybe it's an IPL match, I also chant like most of you, or maybe it could be few of you. I also chant RCB, RCB. Or if it's maybe India match, it should be India, India. But always I had a thought in mind. It's all good that I'm encouraging others to do something for the secure country. But what am I doing? What have I given back? So in addition to whatever little things I could do personally, I would also offer suggestions to the various departments. But after this incident, I took a step back. One of the things which I do is what Mr. Sheep K. Umar recently mentioned a few weeks back. Even my favorite mode of transport is BMW, bus, metro, and walking. This year, July, I was coming back from Sabrimala, and in the flight from Cochin to Bangalore, there was a very senior IS officer sitting beside me. His name is Mr. Madhav. He had served as the head of Bangalore Metro, KSRTC, among other posts. When I narrated the incident of the traffic policeman, what he mentioned was, you don't bother about the consequences. You keep writing suggestions. And in case someone asks you to meet them alone, don't go as a group. Don't go alone because you're not sure what they're going to do. So after that, my desire to again offer suggestions has rekindled and again begun to do that. Apart from that, I love reading books, working on my fitness, doing yoga, and spending time with my two children, Kriti and Tanvi. Thank you so much. Jai Hind. Thank you.
This is how we acknowledge the courage taken by the speaker on his first speech. Please stand and give the standing ovation. Now, when Chandrashekhar was talking about complaining, my format of complaining is through Twitter. I always tweet. Many times it has helped. But the last time I tweeted was when I had a problem with the State Bank of India. Any State Bank SPH account. I had a problem. I tweeted, and internet is full of scamsters waiting in their, bird's eye view. And unfortunately, somebody's put the. Unfortunately, I got a call next day saying I'm from State Bank of India and you have a problem. I had so much frustration with State Bank immediately. This problem, that problem, all that. He patiently heard and said, don't worry, I'm going to solve the problem. I'll guide you through the app. I went through the app, went through the whole process. He took me to the ATM. I'll tell you, I was like hypnotized. And he was trying to draw the money. Unfortunately or fortunately, I didn't have enough money. he wanted 20,000. He said, put 20,000, everything will get resolved and it will, it's some value, all that. I didn't have 20,000. I had some 6,000. I said, okay, how do you solve? I said, wait. I have a balance in some other account. I transfer it here. I put a maximum 15,000. He said, no problem, we can resolve 15,000. Put 15,000. It didn't get drawn immediately. Now I was in a hurry to go to a dinner party for my friend, and he was in a hurry to close the conversation. Now I didn't know I was getting scammed. I said, look, can we talk tomorrow? I have an urgency. He said, no problem, you can get the phone down. And then when I was in the Uber, I saw the messages come that money has gone. I tried my best, I could not get, but that's what I thought when we talked about complaining, but it should not deter you guys. I think Twitter is the best medium to complain, definitely. The next speaker we have, the speech is on a pathway on innovative planning. And the title of the speech is Take a Flight, right? Take a Flight. And he is being evaluated by one of our star Toastmasters. He has been a president of Bangalore Toastmasters Club. Most of us here stop at Bangalore Toastmasters Club, but as a leadership role, you can go beyond. He has been to the district, he has gone to the international level, he has been a director, international director of International Board of Directors of Toastmasters International. And he's got a president's citation. And we are happy that he's been the evaluator of one of the speech. Toastmaster Pawas, can you read the guidelines of the speech, please?
Thank you. The speaker is attempting Project 2 of Level 4 Innovative Planning Path. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice developing a plan, building a team, and fulfilling the plan with the help of their team. The purpose of this speech is for member to share some aspect of their experience managing a project. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, boss. Give me a big round. So the next speaker was Bangalore Toastmasters initially, moved to Mumbai, became a president of the Mumbai Toastmasters Club, came back here because his work was shifting him from Bangalore to Mumbai and back to Bangalore. He has been in the Toastmasters for last 13 years. And he is now currently working with Pali Medical, a group company of Sichuan. Difficult to pronounce. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to Toastmaster Ratan Shetty for the next. Apologies, I asked them to stop. No problem. I still remember when I wanted to give a talk on Chinese etiquette, and I prepared everything, and the last minute when I came to here to give, this did not work. And can you imagine me trying to explain everything in body language? It was tough task. But fortunately, Ratan, you need not have to go through all this.
No, we understood that speech. We
You
understood
understood?
the speech.
That's all, yeah. So in the meantime, we can check with Sonal. What is your plan for birthday?
It's over now.
It's over. Nothing is over. It's going to start.
So I wanted to celebrate, that's why I came here today.
So nice. So nice. Because normally most of us decide to change. At least me, on a birthday, I'll say, this is the time I will change. Next comes New Year. This is the time I change. Normally end up doing nothing. So, but I'm sure these youngsters now will have a lot of joy from that. Okay, over to Alvin. Thank you.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests.
Good evening.
Gears a little bit and get into a more of a, the side that we generally don't like to get into. Hospitals, patients, patient care. Do you want to visit over there just to know a little bit? Yes, no, yes? Yes. Okay. So my question to all of you is, what does patient safety mean to you? Anyone can raise their hands and maybe say in a sentence, what does patient safety mean to you? I know some of you are not grimacing a little bit and all, but yeah, all of us sometimes face this challenge of someone near one going into the hospital and then we want to know as to how they are doing and they should do well, right? So what does patient safety mean to you?
Right medication, right treatment.
Sorry?
Giving the right medication, right treatment.
Okay, good. Anyone else? Yeah. Yes.
The treatment is not doctored.
Treatment is not doctored.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No infections from the...
Excellent, excellent, excellent. I like that. Yeah.
Not apparatus or devices working well.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Electrical appliances should work well.
Yeah, everything that is related to the patient, whether it's the ventilator, whether it's the device, everything has to work well. That's what we do, right? So let me talk about this project. We already discussed this a month back when we spoke about a patient protection device which is meant to protect the patient from adverse events. So now I will open the curtain and I'll rather lift the curtain and tell you what this patient protection device is, because we actually had an event recently on this, and it's there in the open web, everybody can access it. So we are talking about IV filters, and here I'd like to tell you what does IV mean. IV means intravenous. You give IV drips, so intravenous. So IV filters means a filter which would be attached to an IV set. So not give filters, administer filters, administer IV solution, right? So when you administer IV solution, you want to ensure that you don't introduce any contaminant into the patient. And that's the reason you use a filter. Now, what is an IV filter? It's a device attached to IV drip sets to prevent patient complications. Something like this. Why is it important? It improves patient safety, it reduces clinical risks, and also India is one of the biggest healthcare markets. It would be probably the second or third healthcare market. Let me not talk about market. Market is not a good word. India has maybe the second or third largest healthcare facilities in the world, right? So this, one would expect that this kind of protective device is used across hospitals, whether it's the government, whether it's private, whether it's corporate, everywhere, right? So according to the ICMR and a particular report published in 2022, let's look at the status. The fact is that if you are using a filter, still there is a 5% risk of a getting a complication once an IV drip is administered to a patient. But that risk goes up to 11 to 25% of having a complication when a filter, this kind of filter, is not attached to the IV set. This is as per the data which is being just flashed. So what are kind of contaminants? It can be even air bubbles which get into the IV set. It can be particles because of improper drug mixing, etc. It can be microbial contamination, microorganisms. You've got overcrowded hospitals in the government setup. Forget that. Even in the general wards, in private setups, you've got overcrowded hospitals everywhere. And so microbes can get into IV sets through manipulation. It is very possible. Though it is sterility, I mean, even the IV set is packed sterile, there is still possibility. And then there are other risks like the air, microbes. There's one more called as nanoparticles, not only particles, but nanoparticles can get in. So every lapse in safety is a lapse in trust. And when you're talking about a difference of 6% to 19% between the use and non-use of a filter, what do you expect would be the extent to which filters are used, especially in onco setups, in cancer setups, in neonatology, where babies are concerned? What do you think is the percentage? More than 5%? More than 1%? Less than 1%? Yeah? It's less than 1%. And let me tell you, it would be even less than 0.5%. So for us, it's an emotional issue. Let's not look into anything else. The fact that we have relatives who could be affected hospital. Next. So my basic reason for getting into this, which I discussed, was that I, as the technical resource for the company, was myself doing trainings in different parts of cities. In the last year, I've done 10 trainings for distributors, for trade nurses, and it was just me running around, my boss saying, "Go, do it." So I wanted a team, and I had to build a team to enable the nurses to understand, for the channel partners to be able to leverage the trust-based relationship with doctors, for the decision makers to be engaged, for the also the availability to be there. My boss, the business head, had to be ensuring that the product was available in the first place. So our team consists, next slide please. Our team consists of me, the application scientist, the global product manager, the marketing manager, the business head, India and ASEAN, and the sales head. And at the end, what did we achieve? Yeah, we did involve the key opinion leader over the period of this 1 month, and we engaged them, and finally, what we got was the next slide. An event which happened on the 10th of December, a grand event. Next slide. Brilliant speeches by one of the foremost intensive care specialists of India, Dr. Himaldev, also Dr. Bharath Rao. 150 doctors engaged in the physical plus digital. If Toastmaster Vijayanand was the Grammarian, would have said there is no such word. Digital mode organized by us, and it's all medical, just for those who are interested. And what we're looking for is a revenue of 2 years, coming down to the numbers part of it, with a CAGR of 41.2% with this product, and most importantly, we're looking for patient safety and the lives of people to be improved. Over to you.
Thank you, Ratan, for that very educational speech. When he talked about IV injection, again my mind went back to China. When it was a new country, I just entered, I felt sick. I was so sick. In India, what happens? You go to a doctor, they'll give some tablets. That's it. We went to a doctor there. He gave us 40 to 50 tablets. He was an old scolding and asking. I said, no way, I cannot take this tablet. I told the interpreter. Then they took me to another doctor shop where they have this IV filters, so injections. They have a set place where they have a TV, you sit there and the injection is. I said, no Chinese is going to touch my body. Nothing is going to enter me. I was scared. I didn't want anything to happen. And then our interpreter, she got a peach, rotten peach. She made a juice out of it and she said, drink that. I ran out of the place. This is the kind of trouble we had. I am so happy that India has all the good facilities. Jai Hind. With that, let us take a 5-minute networking break, after which we will have a table topic session. 5 minutes from now.
A table topic where topics are thrown at you, random topics are thrown, and be ready, be prepared. And the table topic master has been in the club. He's also a veteran Toastmaster for the last almost a decade now. He has been in the committee as a vice president Sergeant Arms, as a vice president PR, vice president membership. Currently working with a company which ensures tax compliance for APEC countries, working with EVALUATOR. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Toastmaster Karunakar.
Thank you so much for the lovely introduction. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I have a very short time today. I have just 30 minutes of time given to me, and the topics are actually simple this time. All you need to do is make sure you put your phone down completely and hear me out. Very simple wordings, but it has some puzzles, some mystery. Some topics require you to think a bit deeper as well. Right? But very, very simple topics. Okay, the first topic that we have today. Everybody, no disturbance, no phone, nothing, right? All ready? All set? Yes. Fantastic. The first topic. Your life has been secretly live streamed. Your life has been secretly live streamed. Which moment went viral? Your life has been secretly live streamed. Which moment went viral? Toastmaster Priyanka.
I guess the moment which possibly would have got live streamed was a recent holiday that I went to Northeast for the Hornbill Festival. One of the reasons I planned to go there is to be away from my workspace, away from my work, the people from my workspace, because I needed a break from them when they were just hovering me with a lot of work expectations. And to my bad luck, when I did not disclose to anyone the place that I went, choose a place also where the network connectivity is not very great. But God knows who is that one person who managed to have a decent connectivity with their phone and video the entire celebration that happened at the Hornbill Festival, where they served the rice beer, they had a great rock band concert. That was the most fun time of my life, I felt, where I met very interesting people. And the best part about the Nagaland people are they're very friendly and sweet. You don't have any inhibitions when you're talking to them. They're very nice. So when I was just having, I think, a great time enjoying with all the people around there, someone around who turned out to be another Bangalorean, who was trying to capture what happens in Hornbill, managed to even capture me enjoying with my cousins and with the people around. And I guess that is the moment that went viral, where because the person was trying to explain what happens in Hornbill Festival. Over to you.
has declared a war on you? Which one and why? One everyday object in your house has declared a war on you. Which object and why? Toastmaster Vijay Anand.
The one object that has declared war on me is the telephone. Not the mobile phone, back then the landline. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests, I was outside and I just called my daughter and asked, where's mommy? She said, mommy's on the first floor. I said, what's mommy doing on the first floor? My daughter said, our relative Murthy uncle has come home. Now, I was wondering, we don't have any relative by the name Murthy uncle. I thought, I don't know any Murthy uncle. So I told my daughter, okay, just go to the first floor and tell mommy that Papa has reached home and he's at the main door. My daughter ran up and she said, Papa's there. Then she came back and said, okay, what happened? Papa, you know what happened? Mommy, she ran down the stairs, she fell down, she lost consciousness. She blanked out. Oh my God. I asked her, what about Murthy uncle? Murthy uncle, the minute I said Dad's near the main door, he jumped out of the window and into the swimming pool. And Papa, you know what? 2 days back to clean the pool, you drained the water. And Murthy uncle fell in the pool, it had no water, he died. But I was wondering, we don't have a pool in our house. Then I asked my daughter, I asked the lady on the other side, is the number 586501? She said, no, it's 586502. I said, damn, wrong number. So friends, the device or the object in my house declares war now, the landline. Because every time my wife says landline, she pounces on me. That's why we called BSNL and we took back a connection. Back to the...
Good start so far, good speakers. You receive a photograph of a moment you haven't lived yet. What does it show? You receive a photograph of a moment you haven't lived yet. What does it show, Toastmaster Puneet?
Photographs have a way of communicating to us, and what it says changes with every phase of our lives. If you all realize, we have these massively thick albums at homes of our parents' marriages. We have those VCRs as well that we no longer can access to, but those albums we still do. And every now and then they find their way into our WhatsApp groups. And I have noticed re-looking at those photos every 2 to 3 years and seeing and noticing something different about them. I'm sure each of us feel that too. And if I was going to future spec into a photo of mine and what I would look at, it would probably be the first time I held my first child. Because that moment shifts every single year I see the child grow. I only have so many years with the child where I am everything to that child. And after that, her or his world takes over. Until the point of his or her wedding. And suddenly those memories come back. When you first held her in your arms, and today you're holding her arm. And it will change when she or he becomes a parent. Oh, I like the silence of the room. We've all gone through that. And I think that is the most relevant photo in my life. Because not only will I live the childhood of my child, but also the children of also my grandchildren will relive that moment. So I think that's the most versatile picture of me.
I told you the topics are easy. I don't know why you guys look so Moving on. The next topic. A child you have never met says, I remember you. A child you've never met says, I remember you. What story do they tell? What story do they tell goes to Toastmaster sheep.
I was just 9 years old. One day, my mom told me, we have to go to some place. So me and my mom went to a house. There were a lot of people outside the house. Suddenly I thought, there is something strange about this house. And mom asked me to wait outside, and she went inside. When I sat on the chair, I saw a similar boy, 9 years old, sitting outside, and smiling at me with broken teeth. I also smiled back. After some time, I didn't see him. And I was waiting for my mom, and it was like eternity for me. So I stepped into the room, and I saw a lot of women just gathered inside the room, like packed like sardines. So I was looking for my mom, and I saw my mom there, but my mom was looking on the floor. And I just looked on the floor, and I was just strange. The same boy I saw outside was lying on the floor with a white. He was dead. So I was just thinking, what's happening? I just saw this boy just a few minutes ago, and now he's just lying dead on me. And I could not speak. Somehow I went home with my mother. And this trauma was holding me for so many years. And I became a teenager. I was in the first year, an engineering student. So once I was coming back to my home in a train, I saw the same guy, the broken teeth guy. But he knew me, and he said, "You're sheep, right?" "Yes." He said, "I'm Sudesh." I said, "The ghost can speak?" That's when I realized Sudesh had a twin brother, Satish.
Oh. Nice, and someone deserves to have an advantage today because it's the birthday. So you have additional 5 seconds of time to sort of know about the topic. The topic is, a letter arrived from someone who hasn't been born yet. What message do they tell you? A letter arrived from someone who hasn't been born yet. What message do they send you? Toastmaster Sonal.
I'm blank today. The topic itself is keeping me blank, but a letter from somebody who was not born, right? And what could that message be? For me, I wanted a baby girl, and I was blessed with a baby boy. So 2 days ago, I was lying on the bed, and out of the blue, he came and jumped on me. And I was like, "Mama, for this reason, I wanted a baby girl in my life." A baby girl wouldn't have done this. The way this boy is treating his mother, the girl would have been very charming and very darling, but boys were like, "I'm so sorry to hurt anyone's sentiment." Because it's been gonna be 4 years now. I still feel that what it could have been a girl, my life would have been blessed. Because in my life, always it's like, whatever I have decided at that time, it has been happened. The only one thing did happen was a baby girl. So the letter which I wanted from somebody who has not born is like, blessed with a baby girl. Thank you.
Wow, it is getting spicier. The next topic. A mirror shows you an event that hasn't happened yet. Do you try to stop it or make it happen? A mirror shows you an event that hasn't happened yet. Do you try to stop it or make it happen? Goes to Gangadhar.
Toastmasters and guests. Let me just reiterate the topic. A mirror shows you an event that has not happened.
Do you try to stop it or make it continue?
I will definitely make it continue. Because it is showing me an event that has not happened. And curiosity in this field has not killed Gangadhar. It may have not killed the cat, but not me. So I really wanted to know what is the result of the whole thing. And it basically was trying to tell me that you are going to meet a stranger. And the stranger is going to be an extremely unique person that you've never met in your life before. Nobody like that ever. And he has some bizarre things to tell you that you never imagined could ever happen. So this got me more and more intrigued. Who is this person? What is it all about? What is behind this person's personality? So I did not want to stop it. And as I went about and the curiosity built up, I was wondering who it could be. Finally, I had to ask this particular thing, the event. Who is this person? And he said, you don't know. He's just sitting beside you. Toastmaster Karunakar.
Some topics are straight out of Conjuring and Annabelle books. Moving on. You wake up to find a second shadow beside you. And it moves before you do. What does it reveal? You wake up to find a second shadow beside you and it moves before you do. What does it reveal? Vishal, tell us, what does it reveal?
I think every day you wake up, there is a shadow in front of you, a secondary one. It's just not seen, but it's always there, and it's always a few microseconds, few picoseconds ahead of you. It is your automatic thought processing system, or what some people call discipline, or what some people call automated action, whatever you call it. That is a shadow that hovers around you, always. Think back to just this morning. As soon as you woke up, before you could make your first decision, your hands moved by themselves. Your eyes moved by themselves. You probably reached out to a phone if you're lazy like me, or reached out for your running shoes and socks if you're active like our past president, Priyanka Ranoria. But that's how life works. There's always this shadow that hovers around you. Make sure that this secondary shadow is the one that is going towards light and destroying itself and paving a path to a brighter future. So that's how the secondary shadow works. Train it and it will work for you. Don't train it and it will engulf you, and you will end up becoming the shadow itself. Over to you, tabletop.
Now you all can relax a bit. The next set of topics are very easy, just like the mornings of, just like the mornings of horror movies.
It's like, give us a topic.
Simple topic. A shadow follows you all day, but it is not yours. What does it want? A shadow follows you all day, but it is not yours. What does it want? Shreya Sadhguru.
I can see how easy the topic is. Thank you very much. A shadow is following, but it's not mine. So I think it's most following my friends because telling me, please give me food, please buy me food, please buy me this. And whenever I wake up, have you guys seen the movie The Boss Baby? Yes. There's this, at the end there's this dialogue. Every time I wake up, I'll be there. Every Christmas movie, every other day I'll be there. Every night you go to poop, I'll be there. Every night you go to sleep, I'll be there. So that is my UG friends. Every time we go somewhere out, even if they're not like physically, they'll be mentally like, they'll text me, can you buy me this? Can you send me this much money? Can you do this? Like, yeah, I'm your sugar mommy, I have to buy you everything. Might as well just come with me. So yeah, if it's not my shadow, I know for sure it's their shadow at all times. So
a clock in your house starts ticking backward. What changes around you? A clock in your house starts ticking backwards. What changes around you? Toastmaster Amrit.
Clock ticking backwards.
What do they change around you?
I think it would change everything if it starts going backward. One thing I would definitely like it to change is that I start my Toastmasters journey much earlier. Maybe when I was in my 20s, as Shreya and Vishal, they have started. And one thing I would not like it to change is my husband, because he's a chef. And I want good food, especially when guests are coming. It becomes very scary for me when somebody calls that they are coming home and we need to. And if I'm alone at home, and I immediately call my husband and say you have to be home, and I can think about the menu, I can get all the stuff, but he has to get into the kitchen and to make it. Because I don't want to disappoint the guests and let them leave unhappy with the food, right? So yeah, if you guys, any of you are coming, let me know in advance. And I can call my husband and make sure that he's there.
You find an object you lost years ago in a place you never visited. How did it get there? You find an object you lost years ago in a place you never visited. How did it get there? Abhay Kothari, tell us why. And how?
Topic master, fellow Toastmasters and guests, believe it or not, this really happened. Believe it or not, this really happened. And what I found was a digital organizer that I had lost in my childhood. So my aunt used to visit us once a year when she came back from the US. And on one such occasion, she had got me a digital organizer on a pocketbook. It was something that we used to use to store phone numbers and memos and everything. And I was in high school. And a few days later, I found it missing completely. So I was completely devastated because it was something very nice, and I was a tech enthusiast. So I was completely looking for that. For many years, I could not find it. And one day, I found that digital organizer in the back of a storeroom inside a plastic box underneath something. And it was in pristine order, like I had got it on the first day. I was completely shocked and flabbergasted. Completely shocked and flabbergasted. I think I found this after almost 20 years of having received it, very recently, about 3-4 months ago. And I tried to turn it on and everything, but it didn't work. Then I saw that, okay, the battery terminals have corroded. I tried to clean that, and luckily it did turn on. And I remember I had stored the phone number of a friend in there, and that phone number was still there. So I tried to dial it, but then BSNL, बहुत सताएगा नहीं लगेगा. So it never really went connected. But yeah, I mean, this really actually happened, and I found my organizer again, and I showed it to my aunt. He had, given me this, and I lost it so many years ago, and I found it again. Hold it.
You claims that they are the original. How do you respond? You meet someone who looks exactly like you, but they claim they are original. How do you respond? Goes to Toastmaster Balakrishnan.
Exactly like it. Exactly. Okay, maybe today, fellow Toastmasters and guests. During my college days, I used to look like Saurav only. Back then. So people, it's not Saurav. I met Saurav only. I didn't meet. But during college days, people used to look at me and then say, "Are you or not?" That right? Because it was cricket was something which was at the height. So I can relate to this topic, but if that happens now, it is possible because the way things are moving, if you see AI, robotics, machine learning, right? I'm a sci-fi fan. So I definitely see in the future that there will be a point where robots will look very similar. Today we are seeing on the screen, okay, mimicking the person. But tomorrow one day will come, sixth day, I don't know how many of you have seen it, Arnold Schwarzenegger. That person comes and says he is the real one to the Arnold. And that puzzled him then. It was like decades ago. But I see the future coming there where robotics will look real and maybe someone will face me and say I am the real one at some point. And I will be shocked and so will be you, the way things are moving. So this topic might be a natural thing in the future. But now we are thinking of imagination, but definitely it's going to happen, is my view.
We have last topic of the evening, sadly, because we have this meeting to be coming up. The last topic of the day, and the easiest one. You see a star in the daytime. You see a star in the daytime sky blink in a pattern. What message is it sending? You see a star in the daytime sky that blinks in a pattern. What message is it sending? Toastmaster Shastry.
Topics Master, Toastmasters and dear guests. People stand in front of the mirror every morning and have ambitions in life. But I don't. I take life as it comes. Just like how I walked into this room 4 years ago as a guest. And in no time, I think the following week, I paid up the fees and became a member here. And that's what changed my life. Right? So I don't expect to see a mirror and I don't expect to stand in front of a mirror and have good ambitions or try to manifest. I take life as it comes. And more often than not, it turns out for the better. But when I look at stars, I will not look at stars looking at what lies ahead. I will look at stars and look at it like a reflection of who I am as of today and who I was yesterday. I still have an ambition in life which I am sure I will fulfill in the near future, and I can't do that currently because I am wearing this badge. But my stars will tell me or are telling me. It may be the mirror, it may be the actual stars, it may be the actual karma around me. I am 100% sure. The stars will be aligned in such a way that in few years' time, maybe 3 to 4 years' time, if not more, I am standing on this great platform today. But in the next 3 to 4 years, I will be standing on stage in another country. Any guesses where? US, China. That depends on where they organize it. But the convention where they have it, and I would be standing on stage as the finalist in the World Champion of Public Speaking. If you have that confidence in you, like how I do, I am sure I am definitely going to reach there. So next time you stand in front of a mirror, look at stars, expecting something, expecting about future, don't. Just sit, relax, take life as it comes. But when you work in the back end towards what you want to achieve, trust me, it will happen. Just like how you will meet me and congratulate me after 4 years, then saying thank you in advance.
The topic is someone slips a note in your pocket that reads, "Don't trust your next thought." Someone slips a note into your pocket that reads, "Don't trust your next thought." What happens next? Toastmaster George. He's shaking his pocket. Yeah, I think during my icebreaker, I've given this story, but I grew and born and brought up in Bhadravati, a place called Steel Town. I was 2 days until 10th. Post that, when I went to the diploma, I went out of the highway and little bit sidetracked on my career path. And there were many kids, and my circle of friends, they were not very trustworthy. Means it was not a good circle of friends. And that means perfectly the kids what they were putting in my pocket were not in the right directions. So just bit connected to the change here along with the topic here. My mother, when I failed first time in diploma, my mother cried and put her tears in her eyes. I could not bear it. That day she has put a slip in my pocket to course correction my life. That onwards, I made a decision, and always say that decisions, it will become eventual, but it was in that second. But the consistency and that emotional connect with my mother's tears has grown. I took my topper in diploma, my engineering, my master's. Long story short, that was the right chit what my mother kept as compared to the chit which my friends kept during my diploma. With that. I've been asking you one more. You pick up a seashell and hear not the ocean, but a voice calling your name. Whose voice is it? You pick up a seashell and hear not the ocean, but a voice calling your name. Whose voice is it? George Matthew, tell us who's that?
Very easy topic indeed. I'm thinking who's the person behind the shell, right? And I hope it's my best friend Ryan. So me and Ryan, we go way back from 11th and 12th. And funny enough, we're meeting next week because I'm going back to Kochi because it's my semester break. And that one moment I look forward every time when I go back to Kochi is to meet Ryan, right? And if you know about me, I took 2 years a gap after 12th grade, and Ryan went off to college. So he's in his 3rd year, I'm in my 1st year. And it's been super hard to like get along with him because every 6 months or 7 months. So every time semester break comes, for me and him, we look forward to that one day. Okay, it might just be one day, but we'll spend the whole day doing something stupid, laughing our asses off, and back to Toastmaster.
You know, in table topic master session, all that matters is the few extra seconds you get. And budding Toastmasters, especially Bharath, what did you do? You kept straight. If you notice sheep, he's sitting on the left side, but he took all the way. That few extra seconds will metamorphose your speech itself, bring that metamorphosis. Okay, so this is something I learned today as a Toastmaster, saying life is always learning. And to know more about today's meeting and to learn more through the eyes of general evaluator, we have a chartered accountant who has been in the club for more than a decade, a founder of Finosight Consulting, who consults on strategic financing. Dear Toastmasters, put your hands together for the general evaluator, Toastmaster Ganesh.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, a very good evening.
Good evening.
It was year 2010. I was promoted as manager, from assistant manager, and it was a fast track promotion in a year. So there was a lot of pressure on me to prove people who had trusted me that it was the right call, and also to prove a lot of people wrong who were envious. How could this guy be promoted? So the pressure was getting better of me, especially on one engagement where I was working with a guy called Anand, not Vijay Anand. And Anand was supernduper of sorts. Whatever I explain him, he'll say, yes Ganesh, I understood. And next day morning, he'll do exactly the opposite. I tried to explain, re-explain, give example, but nothing was working. And I was beginning to lose my cool because I had a lot of pressure. And I thought maybe the best tactic is to put pressure on him and started hurling abuses, whatever little I had known. Not that I was extremely abusive, but when someone is not and they try to be even, I think you can make it out, right? They try to do it a little more than what is expected. But still, it wasn't working. And I thought that evening, next day morning, I'm gonna escalate about this guy. But the morning had different plans. I got a call from my department manager, Arvind. He said, Ganesh, there is an escalation for you. Come to office immediately. I went to office and it didn't take that long to figure out Anand had escalated about me, saying I have heard abuse and all that. Then Arvind said, Ganesh, don't worry, I have managed it. Just because you're promoted, I think that pressure you are feeling. But all said and done, Ganesh, how could you do it? I said, I'm sorry, Arvind. Just I said that and left Arvind's desk. Those 10 steps from Arvind's desk to my desk was possibly the longest walk ever. But in those 10 steps, I silently made a pact with myself. Never ever this tongue will utter a bad word. Friends, it's been 16 years. And most of you have known me for at least 10 years. I can bet my life, no one would have heard a bad word from my mouth ever since then. And I guess that's the kind of transformation I would expect more from me. And I guess that is what is the true definition of transformation, where your own past looks like someone else's past. It's a moment where a thief becomes a Valmiki, a Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi becomes Mahatma Gandhi, and Narendra goes on to become Swami Vivekananda. So, as we step into a new year in few days from now, I wish all of you many moments of transformation where when you look back a few years ago, it must be like, hey, whose life is that? So, wishing you all a year full of the breakthrough transformation. On that note, let me straight away jump into the meeting number 1507. I came in here at 6 o'clock to ensure I can find enough faults and take enough time to point it out. But I was in for a surprise. I was looking for Bhavna. Bhavna was to be there. But I could see one tall, dark, handsome guy with a mobile, some music playing on, zoned out, oblivious of what's happening around him, and just writing on the board. So I thought maybe Bhavna is running late, and like those who are in the final stages or on a notice period of sorts, final days of the tenure has dedicated it. Then I met Shreya. I asked Shreya, where is Bhavna? Shreya said, Bhavna is not there, Ganesh. Abhinav is the stand-in sergeant at arms. And the way this guy was coolly managing all this, I was feeling tense. Is he really standing up? So I went and asked him, are you standing? Are you standing up? He said, yes, I'm standing up. So I mean, for someone doing this for the first time to exude that kind of confidence, amazing. And we was absolutely focused on getting all these things up and running, and we couldn't really feel the absence of bhavna, and everything was very well done. Good job, Abhinav. Just a couple of small things. When you started off the meeting, you asked all of us, how are you feeling? How is energy? We all answered. And when we asked, how are you feeling? You said, obviously it's a Christmas time. I'm feeling excited. The excitement was really missing, right? So, audio and video weren't in sync, so maybe we should take care of that. And I think you could have injected some more energy at the beginning, because all of us have come from office, a long week. This is a time, people be a little bit jaded. That's the time when you should put in a lot more energy, set the stage on fire, and let that energy take over. But all said and done, for someone taking this role for the first time and doing it with such a ease and elan, let us give a loud applause for Chandra for today. Next to come on the stage was our Madam President, Toastmaster Chaitra. I'll tell the result first and then the whole analysis. It was a flawless act, right? She's in 23rd or 24th meeting of the term, and the way she sort of upped her game in terms of the way the presidential address, picking those nice stories and delivering it with ease, the confidence, amazing. And today as well, not an exception, right? She had an art story, and the story had right twist and turn, which gelled exactly well with the theme for today's meeting. And also the way she delivered it, with the right amount of pauses, the highs and lows, and purposeful use of the stage. I think we'll be missing your presidential address. And also her English, right? Such a royal touch she has when she speaks with all that accent. You feel like I could go on hearing to Chaitra, amazing. And also the introduction to Toastmaster of the day, Nithin, was also like a Vishwarup darshan of Nithin. 3 times president, the CFO at L&T, last 1 year traveling China. You almost did Beijing airport. Brilliantly done, Chaitra. Only one feedback if I may give is, I thought whilst you told us everything about Beijing, I thought it was a bit stretched as well. Maybe you could have just given us the highlights, that would have been enough. But having said that, amazing job in terms of the presidential address and the way you've been leading the team and through the term. Let us give a lot of applause for that. In between, Shreya did a cameo with the spring in her steps and the twinkle in her eyes, giving us a quick summary of the last meeting. Very well done, Shreya. I have absolutely no comments to make. And the way you have been sending the minutes of the meeting regularly through the term, commendable job. Let's give a lot of applause. Next, we had Toastmaster of the day, Amitabh Bachchan of our club, Toastmaster Nithin, with that baritone and the personality. The only person I can closely relate with is Abhinava, and it was little unlikely because you can take Nithin out of China, but you cannot take China out of Nithin. So I was expecting some China story, and he went to Goa. I go to Goa 4 times a year because that's my in-laws place. But Nithin going to Goa was something unusual. But then again, Nithin being Nithin, the storyteller that he is, helped us uncover some of these unknown facets of our own history. At least I didn't know, right? Didn't know this is the kind of pain the Goans have gone through. And Nithin, nice story and gelling well with the theme and also the day, brilliant. Plus the introduction as well, right? For each of the guys, he had something unique to say, unique facets of our own personalities he brought to surface. And for me, one of the key highlights was his presence of mind. Whilst he was the reason for the projector being turned off, that when suddenly put on spot, how he brought in that presence of mind and told about his own event back to China, gave some story and also about connecting it with Sonal's birthday. Brilliantly done. Just two small points in it. I thought at the beginning energy was slightly low in the sense, I think since you've not come to stage for a while, maybe a little bit of a warm up. But I think once you introduced Toastmaster Chandrashekhar, from there on it was at its peak, so very well done. Also, whether SBI issue and that China medical issue also I thought was a little bit of went a little longer than what would have been okay. Other than that, I guess this was amazing, entertaining, and a master class in how to be a Toastmaster of the day. Let us give a big round of applause for Toastmaster of the day. Then we had the prepared speech session. First speaker for the day, making debut for the first time, Toastmaster Chandrashekhar Nayak, and his speech is being given by Amaan from GT Bharath.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
In particular, Toastmaster Chandrashekhar. The purpose for this icebreaker is for the member to introduce themselves to the club and learn the basic structure of this public speech. Since you are a sports person, I would like to start with this anecdote. Have you ever seen Chris Gayle and Travis Head playing from the opening, even if it's a red ball cricket test match? From the first over, they start bashing. And the cricket commentators have a habit of saying this, that he came up on the stage, set right from the dugout. It was the same with you. You were completely calm on the stage. I was sitting in the last seat and I could clearly understand each and every word of yours. So calm, and you were clear kudos onto that. Another good thing, even if it was not required, your stage presence. Your first story, you were calmly standing here and explaining everything about your childhood. And then when you came back to the suggestions part, you moved here, which tells you the audience that you're moving to there's a transition from one story to the another. Another thing, you started with a story, that too with a childhood story, which is very relatable school stories. And you asked a question, who won a World Cup, which itself tells that you're a sports person. And with the story, I would like to come to the second part. Apart from that, you introduce yourself, your family, your job switches, which just tells us that how you've grown into a role from KPMG to a CFO advisory role. A bit about what do you do in CFO advisory, that would be really helpful to understand that what is your actual role. Moving on to the suggestions part. So, for the benefit of the audience, a basic structure for a public speech is opening, body and conclusion. For the opening, I'll come back to your story part. The way he started with a story, it engaged all the audience. And with the story, the moment he was weaving the story, he was communicating to each one of us that I am a sports person. You can come and speak to me about sports. Second part, at the end, when you concluded, you told that I also like yoga, I also like reading book, and I also am a fitness freak. As in when you see the green card, you just said 3 words and then you came back onto the stage. I thought if you could have also weaved the story around few incidents with your family or how you have read books, any experience, it would have been better for us to understand. Another could be restructuring a bit of content in body and conclusion,
where you told about giving suggestions to traffic police members. If you could have reframed as, I have a habit of identifying problems, and for most of the years I've tried to identify traffic problems and given suggestion to decongest it. It could have given more about yourself. So in the transition also I was a bit lost, where you started with childhood and then in the middle some suggestions came up. So overall it was a good introduction speech, but bit on the content side it would have been much better. Over to you, General Manager.
I'll also do a bit of commentary. That was a dhuandar evaluation. Well done, Toastmaster Amaan, and very well done, Toastmaster Chandrashekhar, Nayak. One of the gems to have joined us in the recent days. By the way, who introduced you to the club? You must thank me. It was me. So anyway, and so today there were 4 role takers for chartered accountants. Yes. Toastmaster Nithin, Toastmaster Chandrashekhar, Amaan, and yours truly. So I think Ashirwad has the highest per capita CAs per square feet. But let's give a lot of applause to both. Second speaker for the day was Sitanshuratan, Shetty, and his speech is being evaluated by DTM Pawas Chandra. May I please request for
Be the change you want to see, said Mahatma Gandhi. General evaluators, members, guests, and Toastmaster in particular. Your speech was literally embodying the change that you had brought upon with your efforts in managing team. I love the way that you had structured your speech. It was about curiosity. It was about the main content, and then that led into the conclusion. Public speaking is not easy, and this is something that Ratan showed. Most of the time, you will see in most presentation and professional work environment that you have the PPT and somebody standing right in front of the light, just like our man from China. He wanted, what is this? Similarly, things happen that people want to hog the limelight. They don't know any other way, so they stand in front of the projector. But Ratan knows this. So you were standing on the side, which made sure that visual aid was actually an aid to the presentation rather than just a spotlight drawing thing. So that is one of the best things that you do when you're using a PPT. It's a great art. At the same time, to make sure that he had more visual aids, he actually showcased the product which has been launched, which was easy for everybody in the audience to understand what exactly were you trying to depict. What I liked about your speech was the earnestness, the pace at which you were speaking, and more importantly, the content which was already there on the slideshow, which made sure that everybody was logically following. I feel that this topic is very important and this is necessary for all of us to understand. I learned something new which I did not know. I hate doctors, but I know what to ask them next time I go there. So how can I help you make sure that this presentation can be better? I think one of the things that you always have to aspire for the general purpose of the speech. Yes, there are 3 general purposes of this speech when you're doing a public speaking, either to inform, either to entertain, or to inspire. I felt that you had an opportunity to use all the 3 mechanisms here. You could have informed in the engaging manner as well as in the inspiring manner. And that is where I felt the opening of the speech, you had a public question which had way too many opinions that possibly led you to speak over time. A closed question with an empathy. I had a friend, he was in the hospital and he got infected. And at that time I thought, what caused this? Raise your hand if you have patient safety measures in place. Yes, no. Don't invite questions so that you can step into your content as quickly as possible. And in the conclusion, when you have given the speech, just before that, a little bit of entertainment because the project demands that what is the experience. You could have said, this person, he was the biggest roadblock. Remember that person who's more dangerous than virus? This guy. So have a little bit of humor
and finally ended in the way that you can call for action. I have been able to make this change. At this moment, I invite you, because the theme of the meeting is the moment you decide to change, everything changes. Are you ready? And that would have created a higher impact at the convention. At the same time, I love the passion you have and thank you for sharing such an important topic with us. I wish you all the very best for your next meeting.
Chandra, that was a stand and deliver kind of evaluation. Very well-rounded, comprehensive, with an extremely valuable takeaway for Toastmasters Shetty. Let us give a loud applause to both. Then we had the table topic sessions, and we called table topic masters EPM. So today I've coined a new word, CEPM. Cunning table topic masters. It started with easy topics, you struggle, some puzzles, some riddles like that. And then as he started the topics, the beauty is, since he had set the baseline saying, hey, these are all easy, almost everybody could speak for 2 minutes, and for a couple of speakers, I think they were a little ahead, they crossed the time. So that's the beauty, honestly, right? Making feel whole things simple. Even Sonal, she was grieving about who said, I'm blank, I don't know what to talk. I could almost see her son there. So that's exactly that's the success marker for me in a table topic session, where 10 speakers comfortably talk for 2 minutes, and you helped us achieve that. Nice topics, I won't say easy because it was anything but easy. But you balanced it well. You had right balance in terms of easy topics to some of those newbies, and upping the levels for the veterans, and maintain the energy throughout the session. Only one point, I think you could have added a repartee after each of the topics. Your alarms is sitting here like a zamindar, seeing what is happening. Maybe you could have, I think the way it will keep you a little alert to see what everybody is talking. Also, it balance the energy, because at times, if there is a dip in energy, you can inject that humor and balance it out. But I must say, this is one of the very entertaining yet learnable table topic session. Let's give a loud applause to Let's go to a tag team. We'll start with timer Toastmaster Bharath Rao from Carnatic War with Russia, Ukraine. Where are we in terms of timing?
To seize the moment, one must shake the time. So, Toastmaster Chandrashekhar took little bit extra 1 minute. Otherwise, all the speakers, table topic speakers, have until the time to match the discipline of this class. Thank you. Thank you.
May I request Toastmaster Tirumalesh to share any CCTV scandals?
So here is my CCTV. So the prepared speeches, Speaker Chandrashekhar has used the filler word for 10 times, and then Ratan Shetty used the filler 8 times, and also for 10 times. And yeah, I guess in table topics there were some A's and so that is okay.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tirumalesh. You gave the report, you concluded. Request grammarian for the day. So this was our TV grammarian.
Fellow Toastmasters will distinguish guests. Today, Toastmasters who spoke. They spoke so well that they didn't give me any chance to pinpoint the not so good usage of words. And the one speaker who spoke about medical terms, it reminds me when the daughter of my cousin had joined MBBS. They told she would get only 3 hours to sleep because they had to learn new terms. Because professors, whenever they used to talk to the students, they should talk only medical terms. But whatever was said, they all new words, best word because I don't know what they are. And good words, they were there in the topics. Sheep herd, then take a flight, and hovering. These were the very good words used. Over to Chandra.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Friends, that brings me to the end of the general evaluation session. Team says, we decide to change things, but let one thing that should not change is our visit to Bangalore Toastmasters Club every Friday. So let everything around us change, but our association with BTMC, let it not change, let it only grow stronger year on year. And the voting link is, voting password rather is 0000. On that note, I want to hand the stage back to the Toastmaster today, Toastmaster.
You know, general evaluation normally is a very serious affair. First time in my life, I saw a humorous general evaluation. Give a big round of applause for the general evaluation. So dear Toastmasters, since we have a business session after this, I would like to end my session now. And I'd like to thank Amrit Kaur, VP Education, for giving me this opportunity of coming on the stage. Over to the President.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nithin. Can we have a huge round of applause for every single person who came on stage today? We have one announcement for today, and that is all the members, please make sure you block your calendars for Sunday 28th of December, because we're going to be having our installation ceremony. The details will be sent in the WhatsApp group. Okay, while they get ready, can we have the guests quickly raise their hands? Thank you, guests. Can we have Toastmaster Balakrishna stand up? Guests, please make sure that you join Toastmaster Balakrishna after the awards distribution. He will explain about Toastmasters and clarify any questions you have. Okay? Please take your snacks and then join him later. Now it's time for the awards segment of today's meeting. This time we're going to start with the Best Speaker Award. And the Best Speaker Award goes to someone who convinced his classmates that he writes notes about sports and not about science. Toastmaster Chandrashekhar. The Best Auxiliary Role Taker Award goes to someone who told us just how much He loves idli. Toastmaster Richard. The Best Role Taker Award goes to someone who loves numbers so much, he calculated the concentration of chartered accountants per square foot only. It is Master Ganesh. The Best Evaluator Award goes to someone who informed us, kept us in rapt attention, and inspired us with his evaluation. DTM Pawas Chandra. And we have a tie for the Best Table Topic Speaker Award. The Best Table Topic Speaker Award goes to someone who managed to make 2 innocent people get badly injured. DTM Vijayanand. Also goes to someone who told us that he will be representing us on the international stage. Toastmaster Shastry. With this, we come to the end of today's meeting. We will be having a business meeting for the members and members only. But in the meantime, guests, please collect your snacks and join Toastmaster Balakrishna outside the hall.